3, 2, 1. Twinkle fingers. Alright, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like we're in Bring It On.
We are in Bring It On, so we're filming right now.
I'm not prepared. I do not have the cheerleading skill for that.
What's happening right there? Guys, we're back with Rachel. That response I think we're going to talk about today.
Ooh.
Oh, look at that transition.
Excellent segue.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Rachel, my wife again, to talk about feelings, your brain, what the heck's going on, especially in a time like we are right now. We're going to talk about the science, what it looks like, so on and so forth. Rachel, why are you here again?
Primarily because I'm the only person you could get in person to videotape.
No.
But the reason why we've talked about mental health is because I am a licensed professional counselor. I have my master's in counseling and education. I'm board certified. I'm certified in trauma-focused CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, as well as parent-child interaction therapy. So, and I've been doing it for about 10 years now.
Holy smokes, EDMR too, right?
Yes, that as well.
Oh,
I'm not certified in that, trained in it. It's a long. It takes at least 2 years to get certified in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's cool though.
It's really cool.
Anyway, so you're qualified to be here.
I think so.
So last time you were here
On this couch.
on this couch,
I feel very qualified.
Alright, last time you were here on this couch, you did not talk about any of this stuff. But last time we were on video together, we talked about the brain and what the heck's going on, and boiled down, it comes to 4 emotions, feelings, what do you call
Yeah, it's a basic way of looking at yourself. It might be oversimplified for ease of understanding. But yes, high, low, good, bad.
Okay, so we talked about high and good, and that's, well, our daughter, we had an Easter egg hunt recently, and I saw that high good.
Sure, she was jumping up and down, doing cartwheels, literally.
Like,
She was very excited.
It was pretty...
She was squealing. Yes, she was like so excited. Yeah.
Yeah, and the low good, we went on a hike the other day because it was beautiful out, and our bodies were exhausted.
Yeah.
But there was
I had
just
no energy left inside of me.
No, it was true. We were down for the count.
Yes.
But there was this feeling of contentment that we both
Yes.
had, and we talked about it. Like, we just sighed out, like,
Yeah.
And-
Felt very peaceful.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, I've had this before too, like, sunning on the beach or, like, something like that I get that feeling at the beach as well, of just that, like, type
Yeah.
feeling. But a lot of people aren't having those feelings right now, and they're having the opposites. Last time we talked about low and bad, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's like depression, sadness?
Depression, sadness, sometimes feeling just numb, not feeling much of anything at all, low motivation. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not good. And what I saw, and I think what I saw earlier when I said it was Bring It On, you had that response, is that high and bad? What is that? What does that look like in a person,
Yeah.
high and bad?
Yeah, great example. If I actually thought I was supposed to be doing cheerleading on here, I would have a high-bad response because I would feel really nervous to be on camera. And that nervousness oftentimes is correlated with a high feeling.
But
Right? So high, I'm not thinking about high as in your mood. When I say high, what I mean is your energy level internally. And so, we talk about high good as going on a roller coaster, right? But you take someone who's afraid of heights and put them on the same roller coaster, and physiologically, their body is doing the same thing, right? Their heart is racing, their blood pressure is changing, they're probably sweating, right? Same as the person next to them. Hands are getting clammy. But for the person that's having a good time, they're reading this and going, this is all excitement, this is good news. And the person next to them is feeling, this is terrible, I'm going to die.
but, like, that's an extreme case. Like, what is it? Can you have these high bad feelings, like...
Yes.
Because I feel like I have that same feeling of, like, going up a roller coaster, which I sometimes like, but I'm not that bad. But, like, I have that feeling of, like, my palms are sweating and clammy me. Like, what does that look like in a school setting?
Sure. I mean, all of these feelings
This
are
high
universal. Yeah, all of these feelings are universal. What makes them clinical is the intensity and the duration of them, right? So if it lasts for a much longer time, if it feels like you're always at this level, then that might be something to get checked out. but we all universally have these feelings,
Okay.
right? And so, example could be if you go into class and, or you were going to class, or you check into your class online and there's a pop quiz that you have to, about the reading you're supposed to do last night. You didn't do the reading, right? And that feels really bad.
It's actually a little bit of that right now.
Right. I mean, we all talk about, the waking up and dreaming about, missing the test or, failing a project, right? And all of these things, it's like you feel that energy, right? You can feel the blood rush to your face oftentimes, for me, right? Or you can feel weight on your chest. I've had a lot of clients actually come to me because they thought they were having a heart attack, and they went to the hospital, and it turns out it was anxiety. So suddenly they're showed up my office going, I guess I have anxiety? I never knew it, right? Because sometimes it can feel so much like our body's reaction. It just feels like, tingly. Sometimes people get tingly feelings in their fingers, or a lot of times people will get stomach aches. It's a really common anxiety reaction. Another situation that might cause this in school is like socially.
I was wondering, can you get it socially too? Yeah, go ahead.
For sure. Yeah, talking to your crush, right?
Oh my gosh.
Right? And that might be a mixture of high, it's definitely high, right? But you can see the difference between high good and high bad, right? Where the high good is, this is great, it's going so well. And the high bad is, you see them in the halls and you're going,
and they walked past you and they didn't make eye contact with you and you were like, oh!
Right.
I remember those days.
Exactly. Right. Or you see them and you go, hey, how are you? What's your name? My name's Michael. How are you doing? I see you got a bike there. Do you need me to help you fix that bike? I think I know where a bike shop is. And sometimes it works out.
Sometimes it works. But, okay, so anxiety. I heard you say that word. Is that pretty much what we're talking about here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's going to be probably more prevalent for all of us right now because a big part of it is not knowing the future. Right? And right now there's a lot of scary things happening. I mean, you look at the news and COVID-19 is a novel thing. Novel means new, right? So we don't have as much information as our brains want to have about this. And that's really scary. And, there's the fear of sickness. There's the fear of people in your family getting sick. There's also economic fears, about parents getting laid off work, or maybe even like they've already lost their jobs and there's concern about money and food. So there's a lot of things to be worried about right now, or even just like what's going to happen next year, for school. So that's an anxiety that I think everybody's thinking about.
Yeah.
Everybody's feeling. I'm feeling that for my kid.
And I'm definitely feeling it, like right there with you. And, So anxiety at this point is a totally normal thing, and why do we have that? Why does my brain want to obsessively check my phone and like know what's happening? And why is it that like I could be feeling fine and all of a sudden I'm like, oh no, like why is it doing that?
So this is the survival skill. All of our emotions, there are no bad emotions. There are emotions that feel bad, but all of our emotions are actually helpful for some reason at certain points, and sometimes they stop being helpful, right? So I'll give you an example of our great ancestors and why maybe this has been developed, our old ancestors.
Time travel! Woo! I'm sorry, that was an exorcist button, so I didn't know what to do on the camera. I'm kidding.
No, let's go back in time.
Yeah. What was it, Wayne's World? You never saw that movie. Who am I kidding? And you're like...
I've never seen that movie.
Oh!
So,
you learn.
We go back in time and we see that my ancestors are hunting a saber-toothed tiger.
Okay.
They're part of a hunting tribal party, and the saber-toothed tiger attacks and maims 5 of our members of our party.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty horrific.
Yeah.
Oh I mean, this is ancient times. I don't know what you expect.
You're not cleaning it up for the kiddos.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Right? So it's terrible. So my brain is going to hold on to that memory, right? My ancestors' brain, the ones that survived, they hold on to that memory way stronger than the other positive, all the other good hunting trips, right? So if I went 100 times on that hunting trip on that certain path, and it was fine, well, okay, it should be fine, right? But now my brain remembers that path, bad path, right? I hear that rustle in the woods, and their brain, or my ancestor's brain, goes, that sound, bad sound, get out of here, right? And so that fight, flight, or freeze response, right, that safety response is actually very helpful in helping them to get themselves out of a bad situation.
So, can I pause you real quick right there?
Yeah.
Just to make sure I'm up to speed. So, our ancestors, it was a good thing to be hyper aware.
Yes.
Because there were so many dangers.
Yes.
And those that were more hyper aware were more likely to survive.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Now,
and I will say this too. So that was our ancestors. Now, it's true that nowadays we don't have saber-toothed tigers. So a lot of our anxieties are about things that our natural body's response of getting worked up, right? Of getting ready to fight, right? You think about that worked up feeling. I automatically clench my fist, right? And even though I don't want to fight anybody, right? It's ready, right? I'm ready for it. But even nowadays, anxiety can be helpful. Now, I tell people all the time that I think of somebody with no anxiety at all. I don't actually believe they exist. But the mental image I have in my mind is the guy that's the surfer bro from California, right? Who goes, sup, brah? Yeah, I don't know what I'm sleeping nice, coolio, right?
yeah.
A little anxiety is helpful in making you go, you know what, I have a test tomorrow. I should probably study for that, right? I'm a little bit nervous, and that activates me to do something good, right? It should be an activating feeling, right? I have this bad feeling, I can do something about it. I feel nervous that my mom's going to come in and say that my room's not clean, so I'm going to turn off this video game and clean my room real quick so that she doesn't get upset, right? I can do something about that.
Okay, so that sounds like anxiety's helpful in that situation.
Yeah.
Anxiety's not helpful for me all the time, especially when I'm looking at the sun and going like, it's a beautiful day. You can't go outside. Like that is not a good feeling, and it's not helpful. There's a certain level where I feel like it's getting out of control, and then what is it? This fight, flight, freeze. Like, what does that look like?
Do you mind if I back up first?
Yeah, go for it.
So absolutely right. Good anxiety and bad anxiety. The biggest difference is it how I question if it's good or bad, right?
Right.
Is there anything that this is making me do? Is there something that this is that I can do to help this, right? So I feel anxiety about. Name something I feel anxiety about.
For a student?
Sure.
Well, pop quiz. Let's just use that.
Let's do something else.
Let's do something else.
Yeah.
Crush.
A crush. No, something else.
A test you're studying for.
Okay. Well, I already used that one. That's the thing.
I don't know. I have anxiety about what to choose right now.
So I have anxiety about my dog, who's constantly licking his paws and sneezing.
Okay. That's our dog. She just looked over to the right
I
here.
did, yeah. Well, I wanted to give a new example.
Okay,
right?
How about this? Can I do a realistic one? Like, for right now? I'm anxious on when school's going to start again.
Okay.
Or when I'm going to see my friends face to face.
Love that. Friends face to face. So that one, do you have control about when you're going to be able to see them face to face?
No.
No.
Not really at this point.
Correct. But is there anything that anxiety can push you to do?
Maybe at an adult level or a middle school level. At a middle school level, I guess I can call them if I know their number.
You could send them a text. I'm sure that's what your kids do.
Let me get the rotary in my Rolodex and look through it.
You could even try to schedule a video.
Like a Zoom meeting or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Organize a Zoom. Okay, that's cool.
Facebook Messenger meetup. I am so much more hip than you.
I have no idea. I don't even know what Facebook Messenger is. Is that...
They know.
Okay.
Right, but so that's when anxiety is helpful. Is I'm feeling worried about maybe I'm worried about my friend because they seemed really down. You know what? I'm going to call them. You know what? I'm going to text them. I'm going to try to video chat with them. I'm going to talk to my parents about it because I'm worried about them.
That's good anxiety.
That's good anxiety, right? It made you do something. And how you know the difference is when you do something, it quiets your anxiety. It feels better.
Okay.
Okay? Then you have the bad anxiety, which is, I don't know when school's going to start.
Yeah.
Me neither. Is there much we can do about that?
Nope.
Not much. So on that end, that's kind of bad. It's not really helpful to think about it anymore. And so what we need to do is find tricks to help our body to calm down. Because our body we're having this brain-body connection where your brain is saying, what's going to happen to school? I'm worried about school. Right? And then your body tenses up, right? And feels bad.
Yeah.
right? You get that stone in your stomach, you get the chest feeling, right? You get
I'll be honest,
all
I
that.
wish I could punch the coronavirus in the face right now.
Right.
But I can't.
Right.
And if I did, I'd need a quarantine for like 4 weeks.
Right. And so trying to figure out how do I calm, so when your body gets that tenseness, it actually, or tension, that's the word. When your body gets that tension, it tells your brain you're right to be anxious, right? That is a good, appropriate feeling, and so then your brain thinks more about the anxious thing. It's this vicious cycle, and then your body gets more tense, and then your brain gets more anxious, and then you get more tense, right?
Oh my gosh, that sounds 100% correct. And when I want to punch the coronavirus in the face, I look at the news, which is not positive, and then I want to punch the coronavirus in the face more.
Yeah.
And then I realize I can't do it. And I get more frustrated and upset.
Yeah.
And then I eat
And
ice
then if
cream.
I know you, and then what happens is you go from the anxiety cycle to anxiety avoidance, and you take an angry nap.
I do. I take very angry naps
Right.
or I
Which is another-
fall asleep like this.
Which is another way some people deal with anxiety, which is unhelpful. Is okay, let me try to stop thinking about it altogether. Let me
Just
pretend I
shut
don't
down.
care at all. But that actually, it seeps through in other ways, right? So an example of that is a quiz, right? Like I'm sure you.
Oh, continue, I'm sorry.
An example of the anxiety avoidance cycle, because we're talking about the anxiety
Building up.
and feeling like you have a lot of things that you want to do. But a lot of people actually have anxiety avoidance, which means, you have this quiz come up, the pop quiz example, and you go, right, you get that burst of bad feeling and you go, oh, you know what, I'm just not going to care about this. And it kind of alleviates it, right?
Oh,
And
man.
you go, oh, you know what, false, I'm done. First one done, I'm out of here, right?
That checks.
So that can be...
I've seen that before.
Yeah, that can be an anxiety response as well. And a lot of people who are like that in middle school don't realize they had anxiety until they're older and they come see me. So if you're one of those people realizing that that's part of your anxiety, we'll put you ahead of the curve.
One more example, because we're almost at time here. Pop quiz comes up. I gotta use the bathroom. I, as a teacher, know you don't have to use the bathroom, but is that like a...
Or maybe they do.
What?
Yeah, anxiety. So that could be an anxiety response of let me get out of here. That could be someone who's been to counseling and one of the things they're supposed to do is splash some cold water on their face. Right?
Okay, that checks. That checks. I get that.
But also...
I try to respect it as much as possible, but...
Right. But also when they're anxious, actually, part of that fight response is your body is like, let's get rid of everything that we don't need so that we can be ready to fight, which includes sometimes
Which
having
would
to go
make
to the bathroom.
which would make sense if you're running from a tiger.
That's
You
right.
want to be light on your foot.
Right.
Wow. Okay, so recap right now, because I know we're almost at time for this. Anxiety is something that's totally normal to have.
Yes.
And in fact, it's actually really helpful, and it can kind of push us in the right direction sometimes, or be
Yeah.
a motivating factor.
Absolutely.
It stinks though, and that it was developed for us because that was a key thing for our survival, and it
Yes.
does help us survive in many ways.
True story.
The downside is it's not always helpful, and it can be really cyclical and we can't turn it on and off.
No. Yeah, not
And
not just by thinking about it. Although maybe that's what we can talk about next time. Is
I would love that.
ways that we can deal with anxiety.
Awesome. And I hope you love it too. I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm just trying to be...
Trying to make them anxious?
No, I was trying
Come
to...
on.
Yeah. I think I've actually had an anxious response there and pointed into the camera. So, see you next time. I don't know. How do we end this?
1, 2, 3.
Alright, thanks guys. See you later.
Power out.
Power out.